So Brad Holmes, probably what's going to make the biggest news in Detroit today will be his meeting with the media, which is coming up next hour. And, there's the quarterback situation we touched on a little bit first hour. But I think there are two big things that all Lions fans would agree on. Big things. And maybe I'm wrong, but you tell me I'm wrong. Would all Lions fans think it is of paramount importance to upgrade the defense in terms of personnel?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Would all Lions fans agree that it's of paramount importance to upgrade the defense?
Yes.
Would all Lions fans agree that it is of paramount importance to keep the offensive line together?
Yes. Well, define that, I guess. Because
you want the offensive line next year to be operating at the same level of efficiency as it was this year.
Yes, you want that, but that doesn't have to. I mean, you're going to have to make tough decisions at the guards.
Right.
Can you bring them both back? You have to overpay probably for one of them to bring them back. Maybe not necessarily. Maybe overpay is the wrong word. You have to pay more than you'd be comfortable paying. Other teams would pay more.
Yep.
But would you be comfortable in paying a certain price for Jonah Jackson? I don't know if they are.
It's weird because you have to ask yourself who gets which position group. What gets the allocation of the resources? Do you dare risk a step back with the offensive line and go younger and cheaper? Or do you dare keep the offensive line together but not upgrade the personnel defensively? And if I have to make one of those choices, there's one that I would make. And we have to operate under the idea that eventually the cap does operate as a restraint to doing everything that you want to do. There are ways to restructure some contracts and maybe pull off some signings that you'll pay for down the road, but in the here and the now, you might be able to do both. But if you can't pull that off, would you prefer to let Jonah Jackson walk to upgrade the defense and try and get by with a cheaper option at guard? Or do you say, we can't afford to we got to step back on we got to keep the offensive line together. We can't afford to step back, and that might mean not making the splash defensively.
Only they know how they truly feel about guys like Sorsdahl or Awasika as backup players on the offensive line. Can they step up and be starting players on the offensive line?
Mm-hmm.
I suspect that they feel confident that if they were to let Jonah Jackson walk, that they may have a solution in-house there that's less expensive and perhaps as effective. I mean, Awasika played in the NFC Championship game. Did he look bad? No, he didn't. Graham Glasgow is someone he's gonna definitely get a pay a bump. I'm not sure how much of a pay bump. Even if you double his salary, it's still not $10 million. He's a guy who's in his early 30s, and does he want to stick around? Get a 3 or 4 year contract to stay here? At that age, I'm not sure what if you give him a 3 or 4 year contract. Not sure what kind of price we're looking at, but I think you can bring him back. And then, I would address the defense. Absolutely. The defense is that when you look at holes, you see holes. Need a corner. Need somebody else to get after the quarterback, or somebody else in the defensive line that maybe can do it. Not only get after the quarterback, but also plays in the middle.
I'm gonna admit I don't want to get into fool's gold stuff here, but if they decided, we're bringing back Jonah Jackson. We don't want any step back, and we want to keep that unit intact. That's what makes the offense go. That's our elite group, and they can't make as big a splash defensively. They're going on the theory that, and I don't think this is insignificant, the amount of young defenders they have are going to get better. I'm talking about Pascal, Hutch, Jack Campbell, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, just to name, I mean, right there's 5 that could all still be getting better.
Well, Mellon Fonwin, Houston would be a couple others that would be on that list.
Sure.
Young guys can get better.
I mean, Derek Barnes isn't that old.
Correct.
So would you be willing to, if I told you keep the offensive line intact, but the big downside is you would have to kind of count on improvements within house defensively, would you be comfortable with that?
Not one of those guys you listed as a corner.
Nope.
They need a corner.
Yeah.
They need a stud corner, and they need somebody that they'd be willing to give a contract for more than just a 1-year fix. You might be able to do something like that, to make a splash with a corner, sign somebody to do a 3-year, $45 million contract or more as your corner, and you might still be able to sign Jonah Jackson to, say, a 1-year deal. If that's possible, would he take a 1-year deal to come back to a winning team, get paid well for the 1 year? Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Contracts are so different now. I'm not sure what the player really wants. Does the player want another crack at free agency? They want a chance to prove themselves because Jackson's been hurt for the last couple of years.
Yeah, what's the market going to? Because I mean, guys who are injury prone, I feel like somebody would throw a Brinks truck at him, but
somebody could. And if someone's going to throw a Brinks truck at him, I'm not. It's not going to be me if I'm running the Lions, because I've seen what they can do with backups at left guard, and it feels like half the season they played without Jackson. I don't know if it's half the season, but it felt like it. Maybe it was 8 games, 7 games without Jonah Jackson as your left guard.
Let me look it up. I think that's too many, but you might be right. He was out, and he's been out, more than a few times, and which is, the funny thing is, I don't think of him as injury prone, but it seems like every year there's more injuries with him.
Yeah. And there are players you can take chances. There are offensive line free agents that you can take chances on and try to develop. And they're the guys not necessarily that you envision to be a starter right now, but maybe you can work with and they can be a starter in the future. You're going to have to find some insurance for Ragnow. It's nice to have Glasgow because he's the current insurance. But if Glasgow has to play center because Ragnow is having to deal with a foot or a knee for a couple of games, you need to have another right guard. This is why it's vitally important to develop the guys like Sorsdahl and Awasika.
He played in 12 regular season games and 2 playoff games. So 248-539-9797. Let's get back to your open line calls. We go to D. You're on 97 on the ticket. Hi, D.
DK Gator, what's going on, homies?
How you doing,
man.
D?
Hey, man, check this out. You said it right, DK. Jonah Jackson is injury prone. Let's not sugarcoat it. He don't play no more than 10 games every year. So we let him go. We signed Graham Glasgow, and we replaced Jonah Jackson with a draft pick. Now, I've been hearing people call earlier talk about get rid of some of the receivers. Bro, that is one position we don't touch. Receiver or running back. We do not draft nobody. We do not sign a free agent. We are set at that position, bro. It's all about that defense. Gator, like you said, we need 2 corners and that defensive end, bro. The plan is so simple, bro. We are set at the main positions. Just restock the offensive line, tighten up that defense, and we good to go.
You're letting Jonah Jackson walk.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And we can get somebody in the late first round, a young, talented guy, or like you said, we might have somebody in-house. Jonah Jackson, hell of a player, but we just can't rely on him for 17 games, bro. That's the only killer about it. But he's tough as nails.
Yeah.
Tough as nails.
It's tough because I don't think of him as injury prone, but obviously you do. And he did play more than 10 games, but
And you said, 12 regular season games?
yeah,
and a couple
12 regular
of,
season. He played 14 total.
So he missed 5 regular season games in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.